Hello, everybody. It's Jackson, aka Lakewood Luxury. Got a beautiful home for you, 1810 Winfield today. And if you want to put on some music, I'm not going to put music in the background. So just give me a mute, put on your favorite song. If not, if you want to listen, I'm going to do a little story time today. So since this is the first video of the series, I think I'm going to do a little story time about how I actually ended up getting into real estate. So if you want to listen to that while we take a look at this beautiful house, go ahead. If you want to listen to some music, go ahead, mute me, get some good tunes on, and we are just going to take a tour of this beautiful home today. So not going to be overly detailed on describing the home, but if there's anything you want to know, if you see a door, you want to know what's behind it, etc., just give me a call. I can answer all your questions. I can set up an in-person tour for you. So let's just get right into it. So I went to the University of Missouri with Drew Lock, the not too good quarterback that the Broncos drafted and have since traded away. It's a great school. I had a great time there. However, I started actually working in real estate about my freshman year of college there. I found an interest in real estate and I was looking to get into it. And so what I did is I actually went to all of the brokerages that were around the area, found all of the top ones, and I said, hey, I'm looking to learn. I'm young, I got time, and I don't even care what you pay me as long as it's fair, and let's make it happen, pay me in knowledge. So I went around to a couple brokerages, eventually was talking to one broker owner, and I said, hey, do you have a real top performer on your team or on your brokerage who has a team rather? And they did. So his name was David, great guy. I ended up connecting with him. He taught me a ton about real estate. I was working as an ISA for him, so talking to leads, getting that information, setting them up with the agents at that time. And I needed a surgery, actually. So while I was in Missouri, I needed this surgery. They didn't really have the doctor or the facilities to do it while I was there. So I had a doctor that could do it here in Colorado, where I'm from. My family is back here. And so I really started thinking about things because while I loved college, I was learning so much more doing real estate and just doing the business that I wanted to be in. And so I ended up calculating one of my economics professors, how much I was paying him for each of these classes. And it was a lot of money for him to be teaching me and then me to have to go teach myself a lot of the information before the tests and everything. I was going to have to come back to Colorado for this surgery anyways. And I just decided, this is one of those wonderful fans that turns on with the light. But if you want this house, I'll personally change that for you because I'm not a fan of those. Where were we? So yeah, I started thinking about things. I'm going to hold off on the basement just yet. It is really cool, but let me show you the rest of the upstairs first. So I was thinking about things, and I eventually decided that I didn't want to set up my life in Missouri as much as I loved my mentor out there. So I started speaking with him and said, hey, I think I'm going to get licensed in Colorado and kind of make a transition. He was great. He understood. So I did the same thing. I reached out. I said, hey, I'm ready to learn. Who can teach me? Who's the best person in your brokerage? To a bunch of the brokerages in Colorado. And I eventually got linked up with the Dream Smith team, which we're rocking with heavy for almost 5 years now, better part of a decade. So it's been amazing. I came out here, I had to get my license, of course. And so I got my reciprocal license from being out there in Missouri. And then I came to the team, started learning, doing transactions. And that is basically the story of how I ended up getting into real estate. So there have been a lot of transactions, a lot of learning moments, a lot of things that have happened since then. But that's pretty much the gist of how I ended up getting into it initially. So while I'm still showing you the rest of the house, we won't have to shut down story time. I'll go ahead and I'll actually tell you about my first clients that I worked with. So they were a lovely, lovely couple looking for a single family home. This is, 2020's COVID market. Things are going crazy. And so these lovely people, it was a chiropractor and his wife. They trusted me to help them out and help them with their purchase. So we were in a heck of a market to be starting in real estate. There was a lot of buyers, about 12 buyers for every home that was being sold, and a crazy, crazy market where just a lot of offers were getting put in, people competing, offers over lists. So that was actually the most amazing experience that I could have had just getting started, because if I remember correctly, with those clients, what we ended up doing is we had written 17 contracts before we actually got them under contract. And I will just prepare you guys, this basement is awesome. I might have to get it for myself just to entertain and have guests over down here. So I'll pause my story time a little bit just to talk about, holy moly, what an awesome space for entertaining. I'll take you over in a second to this bar suite. We can check that out, but yeah, I'll continue with my story. So if you're not bored of it already. I worked with these clients, super, super competitive market. And just, we wanted to make sure we were getting them exactly what they wanted. So I think it was the 17th contract that we had written, and, by no fault of our own, that was just the market at the time. And we were very strategically writing contracts to make sure that we could get them under contract. However, they weren't willing to overpay for their home. So we had some homes that they just got bid up. There was higher offers, and they ended up deciding just to pass on those. But working with them taught me so much. Sometimes, you can have a client, you go out and look at houses and you write one contract and you go under contract and that's it. But I just got, all of the experience in the world front loaded. I work on the team with Landon, who has over 15 years of experience. So it's been amazing, especially early on, being able to rely on him. Now I'm definitely an expert in my own right. I do a lot of first-time home buyers, a lot of investors, some fix and flips, and of course we're doing these awesome property tours so you guys can see what it's like to be living in Colorado and what these homes look like, what the prices are, and maybe you just want to check them out. Maybe you'd like to buy them. Either way, watch the video, have fun. That's what these are for. So yeah, story time. I'd say that is initially how I got into it. I did get an initial interest in real estate from YouTube, honestly, seeing a lot of content there, people kind of going over how they got into being a real estate agent, their investments in real estate, things of that sort. So really inspired me. And the book that I actually ended up reading was The Millionaire Real Estate Agent by Gary Keller. That was one of the books that, when I was just starting to get interested in real estate, that I checked out. And it's a great book. It is old school, but everything in there is pretty much still true. There's not as much incorporating, social media, things like that, just because it wasn't too relevant at the time that that book was written. But the concepts in there are still solid. And overall, it just gave me a good inspiration to get started. So if you're maybe looking to get started in real estate, or you're just kind of curious how that goes, I'd say the best way is just find out as much info as you can. There's YouTube videos online of, people's experiences getting started as an agent, how to get started as an agent. And then the other thing that I did that I think a lot of people don't do is I would go out to open houses on the weekends and I would go out and meet those realtors and I'd ask them about, hey, what do you do? You know, what did you learn? What do you wish that you knew when you started out in the business? And so I met a lot of great connections and a lot of great people through doing that. And I also got, you know, a really good understanding for not only the business and the market, but I got to understand, you know, what a $500,000 house looks like here versus a $1 million house versus a $200,000 condo. So there's a lot of stuff that you learn. It's an art and a science. I try and spend an hour or two every day researching, learning more. So it's something where I love it because it's an art and a science. We'll never learn everything there is to know, but obviously the realtor with the most information wins, and I win for my clients, so I have to have the most information. So this is pretty much the tour, guys. I think that's everything. I don't think I missed anything major, but like I said, real casual video. If you guys want to do a private tour yourselves, or you want to you know, put in an offer, anything like that, give me a call. And it doesn't have to be for $1 million property. It doesn't have to be for a $100,000 property. I'm not too busy for anybody, and I love helping people do real estate the fun way and help you build wealth. So if you can't afford a $1.7 million property right now, which is very understandable, especially if you're, you know, in the younger generation, that's fine. What we can do is get you into an awesome starter home that's going to begin appreciating, gaining value, and you'll be able to leapfrog your real estate purchases, where eventually this is the kind of home that you'll be able to look at and live in. So I'll end the tour about here, guys. Don't have too much more. I'll give you a little peek outside just so you can check out what we have going there. But yeah, so that's been the story time for the day, as well as the home tour. And if you want to learn how to do real estate the fun way and build wealth for yourself, send me a DM, give me a call, and let's talk.